Okay, so let's go. Sorry for being a bit late. I had some problems to fix with my Streamlabs, but anyway, it's good for now. So we're gonna start with the basics of Tab Editor, just to learn how it works, how to use items and how to edit them. So here, this first video gonna be on the very basics of a tab editor, and then we're gonna go to the custom variables if I have time. And if you have any question, well, just ask me or just join my Discord. I'm gonna just share you in the chat. All right. Hold a sec. What? I can't find. Oh man, that's not a long time I use Discord, so I need to know how to manage all this stuff. Let's say where we have to go to find it. Oh, all right, got it. So if you want to join and be notified of the stream, just go here. I think that's the right one. I'm not sure. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Anyway, I will find it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna just share. Up. It's right here. Okay, so if you wanna be notified with the stream announcement, just go there, and if you need question, I will try to answer with player. So let's start with the first thing. We're just gonna first change the music because this is chill stream. Let's say we're gonna choose. Oh, I've got an idea. All right. Well, it's gonna be a bit of disco funk. All right. Alright, so here we're good. Okay, so let's say I've already made something for this stream. So here we're gonna learn the basics of the tab editor. So here the first page when you open a new project or you load a project. So here you can see here the level name. This is what the player will see when you have created the map. It's gonna be shown everywhere, even in the workshops of Steam. And here you have the difficulty challenge just below it, right here. Usually the custom maps, well, you can't really calculate it, so you can let the game calculate it, or you can like select it manually. So I think most of the custom maps are, for example, the Infinite Waves are like hard and very hard, but Brutal and Nightmare is when your map is truly hard, even for the best players. So this is not an important thing, but you can set a difficulty level to let the player know what is gonna, what is gonna challenge. So here is the description. So be careful with the description, because the descriptions, there are several problems about it. So the first one is that in the game, when you set a description, there is a bug where some words are missing because the box when the text has to be is a little bugged, so just some words like disappearing, a part of the words are disappearing at the right, so be careful about it. And also don't make a long description, as long as it won't appear in the custom map tab when you load a custom map. So be careful about it. Okay, so then we're gonna go on the map. So the map is where you design all the environment, the buildings, the units. So everything you want to do on the map is here. So you can see the unit generator. So the unit generator is just about zombies. It's not about human units. So be careful with that. So here we have different tabs, which we're gonna talk about it a bit later. The event tab. So the event tab is where you want to trigger events in your map. So this is another thing different, but it's also related to the map. Oh, just wait a sec. My second screen just make a black screen. I don't know why. All right, it's good. Well, all right. So here we're gonna set some events. I'm gonna explain which are these events in the map. You have here the game narrative. So this is the game start. So when the game beginning, you will have windows, or every script you have script here that will be triggered at the very beginning of the game. So once the game is launched, it will appear. On game one, so it's all said, when the player won the game, this will be displayed. I'm gonna explain you a bug about the tab editor that doesn't show the game one actions, so just be careful with that. And here on game lost. So this is the exactly same thing about the game one. So the game one is when the player won the game, and game lost when the player lost the game. So you can here set some displayed windows like I have too bad, let's try another time, or whatever you want to just add some lore to your map. So here is the custom command center. We won't talk about it in this part of the stream, I think, because this is advanced script, because you have to settle down several things. Maybe if you wanna some tips about it, just ask in the Discord, and I will try to explain you how it works. But definitely I'm gonna explain what is the custom commands. Then we have the variables and functions. So here it's the custom variables you can make in the map. So this is also advanced scripts, but you needed to trigger some events. So I'm gonna explain it in this stream. And here the Steam Workshop. So the Steam Workshop is when your map is ready. You're gonna publish it on Steam. So this map is not published, so there is no ID for this map, but here you have the visibility. So for example, if you have some testers for your map, you can set it on hidden, on only friends, hidden in hidden option, you can invite people to be part of your project, so they will see the project, but only them and you. Only friends, so it's only your friends that can see the map, and then you have public. So public is when your map is finished. Then you just have to go on publish on Steam, just right here, and then it will publish your map. So let's go back to the map tab. So here, as you can see, I've settled on some stuff here. So we have zombies here, a giant, as in jail, some buildings and other stuff. So here you have a theme of the map, so you can change it. Okay, you can let the player choose. So this is map 1, map 2, map 3, map 4. So depending on which theme the player will involve, just select it. So for example, if I use the peaceful lowlands, the game will be automatically loaded on the peaceful lowlands. If you let the player choose, then he has to choose the map, or it will be the first map automatically. The generation. So the generation for random map is basically on manual. Because manual is where you can manage to do the map, whatever. You can design the map whatever you want. If you set random, it will generate a random map, and so you cannot build anything on it. You can just write events and scripts about what the player is doing on the map. Then you have two tabs right here, the entities and the painter. So the entities is all about the buildings, the units, the environment, the survival scripts, the zombies, and then here you have the painter. The painter is all about the environment of the map. So you can paint earth, you can paint water, that is just here, grass for the farms. Here you have the objects. So the objects, it's all about the mountains, as you can see, the tree, the mineral gold, mineral stone, and mineral iron. So here I've just settled down some objects here. You just have to select which item you want to paint, and then you left click, and it's paint. To see how it looks, you just have to go to entities, and then it generates what you have painted, just right here. So you also can change the shape of the pencil in circle and square, and the width of the pencil. So usually I use the width of 1 because I can draw whenever I like the items. So here I don't want like to have a forest in this shape. I just want some stuff like this, some like random stuff. So this is very useful to use V1 because you can really design your map whatever you want. And here, if you go to entities, we can see our forest right here. So in the entities tab, you have the categories of building, of environment, geology, survival, units, and zombies. And then above, not above, sorry. Well, just right here. I'm sorry for my English, by the way. English is not my mother tongue, so I'm gonna explain it the better way I can. So the templates, here in the buildings, you have all the buildings, the human and also the zombies buildings. So for example, the City Hall of Doom is a zombie building. It's like the Village of Doom. So for example, if I want to set an advanced farm, I select advanced farm, and then I can click on create, or to be faster, I just have to hold the left control, and then left click. And it settled down the advanced farm. So here I can move the advanced farm by holding the left click. So I can move the building like this. Just one thing, if you set the building, for example, on water or like this, it's not on earth, the building will self-destroying, yeah, it will destroy itself. So be careful about that. There is no fields around the farm, so you can just move freely your farm and settle down another one next to this one, for example. Also, you can clone this this building. For example, here I want to clone the advanced farm. So I'm gonna right click on the building, and then I have different options. So the edit one, open a window. So the name ID is when you settle a custom variable that is related to the advanced farm. I don't want to talk about it yet because it's a bit more complex about the basics. So we're gonna go back in this later. So this is the custom name. The custom name is the name of the building in the game. So for example, if I set farmland in the game, the player will see that the building is called farmland. And if I want to have a custom description, it's a farmland. Yeah, I have a lot of imagination, I know. Just joking. So the custom description will be displayed under the farmland title. So if you don't set any custom description, there will be the default description of the game. So here it's just adding some lore to your map. Here you have the team. So there is 3 types of team. You have a player one, neutral, and independent. So the team player is when the player will have control of the building at the very beginning of the game. Then on neutral, it means that the player has to bring units close to this building to take control on it. And then here you have the independent. So the independent is that the building won't be controlled by the player during the whole game. So make sure if you set independent that this is not a vital or crucial building for the player. Also, there's a little bug about the neutral team, because if you set neutral, nothing changed right here. But if you close this window and then you go back on your farm and you right click on it and click on edit, you have a neutral entity parameters that shows up. So the script on join, for example, when the player finds this farm, you can script something, an action for the player. So you have to click here on this little square, and here a window shows up. So this window is the script editor, as you can read, and here you have a different action you can set. So for example, let's say we want to give to the player some resources. So we're gonna click on give remove resources to colony, and then we're gonna add the plus. So here is the show window. So if the player finds the building, does the game has to show a window or not? It's here the question. So if you want to alert the player that he will receive resources, you can show up the window. If you don't, just click on it. Then if you show the window, you can add title and the text, or it will be a default text that will be shown if you don't write anything here. The sound clip. So the sound clip here is just to add some lore to your map. So by default is informative. None is there is no sound played. And here you have a different type of sound you can find in the game. So let's say, yeah, we're gonna stay informative. Here the custom sound file, well, it doesn't work for now. There is a bug about it, so don't put anything in it. As long as it doesn't, the custom sound file will not be played. Then you have the animation. So if there is non-animation, the window just will pop up to the screen. If you say blend, it will a bit slower shows to the player. This is the default animation, so you can just set it like this. And from bottom slow, the window will show up from the bottom of the screen and will move until it is at the center of the screen. Here is the text alignment. The problem is with the text alignment, it doesn't work for now. So here you have the different position of the text. But as I said just before, it doesn't work at all for now. And here with the window type, so it's all about the type of the window and also the, I would say, the font of the text. So you have normal one, which you can see like in almost every custom map, and here the special map sign. So this is another one which is more like old screen of a computer, I would say. So you can try it, definitely try it. This special map sign is very cool, so I would suggest you to try it. And here is the resources that you can give to the player. So for example, if the player find the farm, you're gonna receive like 100 gold and 5 workers. Here also the advanced options. I won't explain it for now, it is advanced scripts. But here it's the main thing you can do. And also if you want to remove resources to the player, it's very simple. So let's say we want to take from the player 100 gold. So instead of writing 100, we're gonna write minus 100. So here you can see that it changed to minus 100 gold plus 5 workers. And then you close the window, and here you can see that on script on join, the player will receive 100 gold plus 5 workers. And here is the play sound when join. This is a little trumpet. When you find neutral buildings, it plays a trumpet sound. So if example is, yeah, for example, if you have a few buildings, I mean, it's not annoying, but if, for example, you have an entire city, I would suggest you to make it false by just left clicking on it. So no trumpets will be displayed once the player has found the building. Okay, then we're gonna go to the categories of environment. Oh, just hold a sec. Sorry, it's one of my friends. All right. So here you have different things. So you have the fortress bars, the tension tower, the high, the medium, and the tracks. So to show what it's like, here there's few examples. So here we have the fortress bar left, and here the right ones. So it works like the buildings. So for example, when I use the fortress bar left, I can click on create, or I can just hold left control and then click with the left click. Also, you can hold the left click and it will add the items if you hold both of them. To delete an item, you can right click on it and click on delete, or just press delete on your keyboard. Then we have here the tension tower high. So there is two types of tension tower high. You have the normal one and the flip one. This is just the orientation of the tower. And it's also the same for the medium towers. Here is the flip one, and here the normal one. And then you have here the tracks. So the tracks, you may find it on the map 4. I don't remember if you find it on the other maps, but on map 4 you can find trucks, food trucks. So you can settle a truck like a building, just like here, and you can move around it whenever you want. Let's say that's a big truck. Yeah, a really big truck. In the game, it will appears like that. There is no bug about other buildings or even items of the environment that are like on each other. It doesn't matter, it doesn't causes any bugs, so don't be worried about it. Just be creative on that. Also, you have the geology categories. So this is all about the oil source for the oil platform. So let's say I want to add something right here. So here I have 2 oil sources. Then we have the categories of survival. So here you can find various different assets here. So the consoles are like for the advanced script. I'm gonna show you the 2 different consoles we can have. So here, this is the last asset that has been adding to the tab editor. When you right click on it and edit, you can see here a window with scripts and the entity. So the thing with the console that is interactive. So if you right click on it in the game, it will show what you have scripted here. So for example, if I want to show a window when the player right click on it with a unit that is close to the console, let's say he gonna receive resources again, like 5 workers. No, it's no lower, but let's say 5 iron. And I don't want to show this. So once the player will right click on it, it will give him 5 iron. And every time he right click on it. So this is the same thing here. It works as the exactly same thing. So I can also set that he's gonna have, let's say, 5 wood. Give resources to the colony. I had the action. I don't want to show this, and he's gonna have 5 wood. Here you can set also conditions, but I'm gonna explain what is the condition later. Here is the name ID, custom name, and custom description. So it works at the buildings, like the name IDs for the scripts. The custom name is the name of the item in the game, and the custom description is the description of the item in the game. Also, you can display icon on minimap. So it means that if you set it true, there is a little icon in the minimap that shows the building. It's also working with the buildings. Let's say, for example, for the meal, if I edit this, I can also display it on the minimap. If you do that, you will see a red circle here. That means that you are displaying this building in the minimap. It's also working with units, by the way. Then in the survival, you have the pickable resources. So the energy pack, the explosive barrels, the food pack, gold, iron, oil, and stone, and wood. So this is how it looks like. These are the different pickable resources you can settle down on the map. And here is the floor runes. So the floor runes is more to adding lores to your map. So here, settle down a small camp that has been attacked by zombies. So here you have a different floor runes. You can settle down on the map. And then we have the last 3 items, that is the map wooden sign, the script unit hunter, and the unit generator. So the map sign is like this. It's also an interactive item that you can edit. So here I've edited something. Here is the picture that I had in this map wooden sign. So this picture will be shows with a window that will be open when the player right click on it with a unit that is close to the map wooden sign. Here is the title. Again, this is the same thing as the buildings and the also consoles. And here the text of the map that will shows up. Sorry. Here is just the title of your window that shows up. And here you have a custom name of the map wooden sign and the custom description of it. You can also display it on the minimap. Then we're gonna talk about the script on unit enter. This is a zone you can create, and then you can change the size of it, as you can see. The script unit event message is when one of your units enter in this area, it will trigger something. So to edit this, select the unit map event message, right click on it, and then edit it. Then another window shows up, and here you can see that I've already added a script. So we're gonna look for what I've added. So as you can see here, I display the windows. So which means that when a human unit enters in this area, it will show this window. So here I settle that the title is Camp of Survivors, and here the ranger is saying There is a camp of survivors here, but here is no one left. So which means that when the unit enters, it will display this window. It will be only displayed one time, so be careful with it if it's important information. And then you have the unit generator. So the unit generator, as I said at the beginning of the stream, this is only to generate zombies. So you can settle down a lot of unit generator. I mean, you can settle down an unlimited unit generator if you want to. The thing is, so you can select it with a left click and move it around as you want. You can manage also the size of a unit generator. And then if you want to change the name of your unit generator, because here you can see that there is the N, the East, the South and the West. You can right click on it, edit, and then here you have a generator ID. So the generator ID is, I mean, the letter that will be linked to this generator. So let's say this one is the A. So when I want to spawn, for example, units at this specific unit generator, I will select the A, because I want to spawn here and also here. If I don't want to spawn here, I will change it to this one or just delete it, because I want only to spawn zombies to the A generator. Then we have the units. So the units are all the units for the players except the Raven. The Raven is more for the lore, a few maps. So here I've already put some rangers on the map. So this is the exactly same thing as the buildings. Here you have the name ID for the script, the custom name of your unit, and the custom description. You have also the team, and here is a veteran or not, which means that if it's checked yes, the unit will be veteran. Hold a sec, I can change that. And here you can see that this is a veteran ranger, and here a normal one. And I can also change the percentage of the life of the unit. So here I settled on 20%. Just be careful one thing, the units will regen her life during the game. So, well, if for example there are some units in a far city that have been attacked and you settle like 20% of their entire life, expect to have these units with full life if it takes time to reach this city. And here I can also display an icon minimap for these units. I would suggest you to do this if for example this is an important unit. Okay, so for the buildings, exactly the same thing here. You have the different common items, and here you have two different items. Is the building is infected? So if you click on no, it will be like normal building. But if you click yes, it will look like this building, like this one. So this one is infected. And do the building have to generate infected at the beginning of the game? If you say yes, zombies will be produced by the building, depending on the workers it give or takes in this building. So if I checked yes, it means that this building will generate infected at the very beginning of the game. Okay, let's go on the painter. I have just a few things to say about the painter. So as you can see here, I've already painted some stuff. I just want to warn you about the mountain. The problem with the mountain is that they are moving. Like if you want to paint, for example, this type of mountain, when you click on entities, as you can see, this is different. Because normally we have only 3 tiles of mountain, but here we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So be careful with that. And also if you settle just 1 tile of mountain, it doesn't show up. So just be careful with mountain because they are moving when you click on entities. So here, for example, it moves. I have normally 1 tile to move between the mountains, and here it moves to 2 tiles. Oh, and also you have a erase, so it's to erase the things you want to delete off your map. So example, to shape your forest. And here you have infected. So you have different type of infected. So here I have a weak one, the runners, the medium, strong and powerful, and then ultra. So the ultra is the giant. The powerful, as you can see here, I've painted some. This is a mixed zombies. As you can see here, we have venoms, RPs, and chubbies. If you wanna set just a special type of infected, just go on zombies here, and then you can select which infected you want. It will give you more options because here, when I right click on the zombie, it doesn't work. But if I right click on this one because I settled down a harpy with this template, I can edit it. So here it's the same thing as building in units, and also the life percentage doesn't matter since it doesn't matter if you set that, because the zombie will regenerate his own life. But you can display the RP, for example, here on the minimap. So in the minimap it will show RP. And here, if it sails away from the command center, all the zombies are roaming in the map. So if you want to be sure that the RP doesn't approach too much the command center, you can settle down an option to say, okay, I want this RP to be 50 tiles away from the command center. Okay, so let's talk about the event tab. So here is when you settle down all the waves that has to be generated, and also all the scripts that has to be triggered in this map. So here we have some example. Here I have a new event. I would suggest you to change the name ID of the event. It doesn't matter since it's only something that will help you to find your script. So for example, we will say second wave, because we already have this first wave. Or we can say that this is the first wave. Anyway, so here you have different rectangles. You have a start time, which means that if you settle 1 hour, when the game reach 1 hour, this event will trigger. Here you can also set a start time random. it means that for example, if I say 5 days, it means that the first wave will trigger between the first hour and the 5th day of the game. If I leave it empty, it will only trigger at the first hour. Then we have the repeat period. So the repeat period is when you want that this event has to be repeated during the game. So if I set the repeat 1 hour, so every hour it will generate this event. Also, if you want just to have a max repetition for it, you can set, okay, I want this event to trigger 5 times in the game, which means that the first time it trigger, it's the first time, and then it will trigger 4 more times, not the opposite, like it trigger 1 time and then it trigger 5 more times. It's not like that. The 4th time counts in the repetition. Here you can also say, okay, so it will be repeated until the day 20. So once the game reach day 20, it won't trigger this event anymore. Here you have the factor repetition for the waves. So, for example, if you say 0 and you have settled down zombie waves, it won't grow. But if you say, for example, I want to grow by 20% each wave, just write 0.2. Oh no, sorry, it's comma. And then here is the max factor, because here is the minimum that the wave will grow. So you have to set a max factor. You can say like, okay, the maximum is like 50%. And here you have a notification. So does the player will receive a notification about the wave? You have to check yes or no. The notification message. So you can add your own notification message. For example, the default one is like a swarm is coming to the command center. If you want to display something else, you can just write something in this rectangle. So let's say they are coming. But the thing is, it will shows up every hour, so be careful with that. Then you have a time for notifying the event. So it means that if you want to alert the player earlier, so for example, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say like start time 5 day, and I want to notify the player 1 day before that the wave arrived. I will say, okay, so I want to notify the player 1 day before the wave hits. You can also show the countdown. So this means that it will the countdown will appear at the bottom left of your screen with a random music of a swarm. And here show on minimap. It means that once the waves is about to be created, the music of the wave will start, and then you will have a sign from where the wave is coming on the minimap. It will also trigger a music. Then here you have the unit generation. So here I said that I want 2 workers, so this is the zombie week. I want 2 weak zombies to spawn at the generator A. So in the map, from day 5, there will be 2 weak zombies that will spawn here, in this area. Do they have to go to the command center? If you say yes, it will be like a normal swarm. If you say no, then the zombies will be generated here, but they won't move. Here is the generation dispersion, which means that if you set 0, they will all be created randomly in this area. But if you set, like for example, 1, all the units that has to be generated will be created in one random cell in this area. So, for example, if you set 0, a zombie can spawn here and here, but if you set 1, the game will choose a cell in this area and we create 2 zombies here, for example. Then here you have generation speed. Do you want that the game generates slowly or fast the zombies? So the default is 6. The 1 is the very slow generation, and the 12 is very fast generation. And then here at the bottom you can see unit group, and you can select which type of zombie you want to spawn. They are all here. Then when you have selected, for example, we're gonna select this example. I want weak zombies A. So the weak zombies A and B are just the shape of the zombies. I want to generate at minimum 2 units, and let's say at maximum 5 units. So the game will understand that he can create between 2 and 5 units each time this event triggers. And here you have the special flags. So I would say some of the stuff doesn't work very well. For example, the game 1, if you click on yes, it doesn't trigger if you set a condition here. But I think in normal event it triggers without any conditions, I mean. So here, for example, if I destroy the swarm, this swarm, I won. You can click on yes if it's true, or no if it's not true. Here it means that once this wave is generated, the game is lost, and here the game is won. Here is the final swarm. So that means that if this is the final swarm, you can check it, and then the music of the final swarm and final countdown will be played by the game. Here you can say, okay, I want to reveal the full map with this swarm, and then here you can say, okay, when this swarm is triggered, I want to send all infected to the command center. So it means all infected that remains on the map. So this is here the scheduling tab. then we have the script tab. So here you can set also different actions. You can say like choose options. So the choose options is like a window message, but you can settle down different choices for the player. Just be careful with one thing. As the event is repeated, the choice will be repeated too. So be careful with that. So you have here the choose option, the exit loop, which we're gonna talk about it later. The generate units, so this is the generation of zombies. Execute code for the custom variables and functions. The give bonus entities, which means you can give units to or buildings to the player. The resources that you can give or take from the player. You can also grant technologies. You can also infect random dwellings of the player, which means that if you click on it and you say plus, you have to click on plus to add this action to this event. You will infect 4-hour event, which is repeated 1 hour. Every hour you will infect one of the houses of the player. Here is the number of dwellings that will be infected. The dwelling is chosen randomly, by the way. Here is the loop. I'm gonna talk about it a bit later too. And here you have also the custom play custom sound. So this is very useful when you want to add a music to your map. So when you click on it, you add the action to the event. You have different things to do here. So this is the sound clip that will be played once the custom sound starts to be played. Most of the time, I mean all the time, I don't use this. I'm just going here, and here there's two things to know. The custom sound file has to be in two different type of files. You have the MP3 and the OGG. So for example, let's say in our project folder, because the sound has to be in the project folder of VR Billions. Let's say Final Wave, because I have a custom sound which is called Final Wave, which is written like this. Then you have to write at the end .mp3, because if you don't write .mp3, here you have a message error. But if you said .mp3, well, I think I don't have. Oh, see. Oh yes, I have it in my folder. So here is shows in blue, which means that the game found the file. And here is the loop. Does the music has to be played in loop or not? If say true, just don't forget to say in another event stop custom sound play. I'm gonna show you right now. So here is the custom sound file that has to be stopped to be played. So for example, I want to stop Final Wave. I'm gonna write down Final Wave .mp3. And here the game understands that he has to stop the Final Wave .mp3 sound. Also, you can see here we have different buttons. So the minus is to erase the action that is selected, and you have arrows here. I'm gonna show you what is exactly. So let's say I want to let the player choose different things, and then we're gonna display window message. So here you can see that I have the choose option, and here related to this window of option we have a different option. Don't forget to write the option text. It's the answer that will be shown in this window. And for example, I want at least to don't have the last option here. I just want to display it as a normal message without choosing it. So I can here move up and move down the answer. Let's say here, I'm gonna write test. So as you can see here, we have the title of the window, and I can move up or move down. But here, if I go on the top of the choose option, I cannot go above. But I'm gonna position it at the bottom of the choices. So I want this window to be displayed without choosing something. The thing is, here you have different traits here. It means that these displayed windows are related to this choice, but I don't want it anymore. So I'm gonna click on the left arrow, and it means that this window will be displayed after these choices. So here, as you can see, you have another trait here, which means that this action will be executed after the choose option. And here it means that it's the children, this display window are the children of this choose option. Okay, so let's say we don't want to repeat it like every hour. I want to repeat it every 10 hours and at least 5 times. And we'll say like this event will trigger at day 1, and I want to be notified 12 hours before the wave is coming. Okay, so here is the basics of a tab editor. Here you can also add some conditions, execute code is for the custom variables, so we won't talk about it yet. But here are the conditions. So for example, you can say to the game, okay, I want to trigger this event at day 1, but only if the player has, let's say, 10 rangers. So I want to understand to the game that I want him to count the number of rangers. So here in variable and functions, you have the different functions of a game. And here, the one we want to use is the count entity type. So it means that if we use this, we give the order to the game that he has to count the entity type that is written here. So we're gonna say, game, I want you to count the number of rangers, and if the player has 10 rangers, you will trigger this event. So here you can see it's highlighted with a blue color, which means that the game understands he has to count the rangers, because the rangers Oh, yeah, sorry, I forget this. So here is the variable we're gonna use. So this is the count, okay? And here at the right, you have the entity type, which means here I used the ranger. So the ranger is just right here. These two windows are here to help you to script your event. So I said here count ranger because this is here the ranger, the name ID of the ranger in the game. Count ranger equal 10. So again, I said to the game, I want you to count the number of ranger, and if the player has 10 rangers, then you trigger this event. So it means that if you have, for example, nine rangers, this event won't trigger. Okay, so I'm gonna save the game, and then to test it, I have to go on testing and generate level locally. And then when it's completed, you have this window that shows up and said, this level has been generated. Okay, so we gonna then start tab to see if this event works. This is very important when you create a map to check if your events are working, because it can ruin the game entirely. Okay, so I'm gonna close the tab editor and then launch tab. Yeah, sorry, it takes a bit of time for my PC. I don't have the best one. But hey, I have a PC anyway. Alright, so to find your custom map is like the other custom maps. And you will find your custom map. So here is the test one. So as you can see here, oh sorry, I forgot something. Of course, I forgot that. My bad. So to see your game, you go on new game. Sorry, this is in French. I have to change it in English, by the way. And here we have test one. This is our game. And you can see here, this is on local, which means that is not published yet. So we're gonna start. And here you can see that all we have done for now is display. So, as I said at the beginning of the game, I settled down a window displayed, and it says, "Welcome to the tutorial." Okay, thanks, let's do some stuff. I'm gonna pause the game. So here you can see my little village.
I present your mayoral candidates.
Not bad, by the way. So here you can see that our ranger with 20% of his life has 12 HP. And here the normal one. As you can see here, this is Ranger, because I didn't change the custom name, and here I changed the custom name, and here the custom description. If I said nothing, it would be like that. Then, here it's also Veteran, because I said it's Veteran. Okay, so here you can see I just take control over the command center, and then when I approach my unit, the neutral one, I take control of this one. This building is deactivated because, as you can see, if I press E, it doesn't match with the range of the command center.
What do you want now?
Okay, let's start with the farm.
Are you sure?
Okay, so when I found the farm, I said in the tab editor that it will give to the player 100 gold plus 5 workers. So you're gonna show here, I have 100 gold plus the icon and plus 5 workers, which are displayed here. Also here with the console, I said that in the console I want to give 5 iron once the player right click on it with a unit which is close to the console. So let's try it. Okay, as you can see here I have 5 iron. If I click on it again, I have 10, 15, 20, 25, extra.
Okay.
Also here
Yeah.
the map wouldn't sign. If I right click on it, it shows the window displayed we have scripted. So it says that there is a camp of survivors that has been infected 2 days ago. So this is the camp of survivors here.
Yes.
If we visit the camp, whoops,
Are you sure?
the RPs. Ah man, that's too bad. So we can't visit it. Oh, we're gonna
Other units to bother?
do it in the other way.
Okay, but it's gonna cost you double. Gotcha.
Okay, I'll have to manage. Okay, so I entered in the area, and the custom sound has been played because I choose it, and here we have the window we have scripted.
Are you sure?
Then I'm gonna go back.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so there's also one thing
You again. Yes.
that I added. Oh,
Roger that.
whoopla. Sorry about that, Ranger. No, Ranger. Okay, so you say village Ranger. So I've scripted the giant, which means that I think once he's still alive, zombies will be generated. So we're gonna check that right now. And also, we didn't have when I restarted, because I didn't show you the thing. Test 1. So, normally, we have settled down a wave that will come at day 1, and we will be alert at 12 hours if we have
It's gonna cost you double.
10 rangers. But here we have only
Does
3
somebody
rangers.
need a mayor?
Gotcha.
At least 4 with this one.
What do you want now?
So which means that we should normally not be notified by the wave, and the wave will not trigger. So as you can see, this is very cool. Even with the basics, you can do really cool stuff right now with the tab editor. So I hope you really enjoy to create map, because this is very cool and you can do almost everything you want with it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna be notified in 2
I
hours.
hope you're not wasting my time.
Well, we won't be
Great.
notified. And here you can see we haven't been notified because we don't have 10 rangers. Also here we can see that our IP is displayed on the minimap. And
You
our
have
ranger
big
here
plans, right?
is also displayed on the minimap. And you have here the console that has been displayed on the minimap. But here we wrote nothing, so nothing appears. Okay, so let's go back to the tab editor. Sorry, it's a bit long again. I don't have the best PC. But I love my PC anyway. Okay, so we're gonna open the recent file, test1. And here we're gonna go to the event tab and say, okay, you know what? I want to remove this condition. Oh, there also because we didn't display anything. Okay, so my bad. Count ranger, we're gonna redo. I'm gonna do again the same thing. Save. Don't forget to test. Okay, alright. And then we're gonna launch tab. So here, as you can see, I can understand that at the beginning is quite hard because you are not used to script some things. I mean, at the beginning, when I started to create maps, I didn't understand a thing of it. I was like, "Hey man, what are all these stuff?" So I tried hours and hours and hours to know what is that, how it's working and stuff. But now, as I'm like comfortable, I will say, with it, I want to share you all my knowledge about it to avoid you these hours of painful test. So here the test one. Here we go again. So as I said, to the game, he will count the number of rangers that
You again.
has to be in the game to say, okay, I will trigger this
Vote
event.
for your mayor.
So we said that if we have 10 rangers, the event will trigger. And here we have 4 rangers. So normally
I hope you're not wasting my time.
the game won't trigger the event and we won't be notified and there will be no wave.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna get some extra iron. Yes, I want iron. I love iron, but I prefer gold.
Okay. Are you sure?
I want full iron.
Gotcha.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so here we haven't been notified because we don't have 10 rangers. Let's go back to the tab editor and erase the condition of the 10 rangers. Alright, so I love my computer. Alright, so we're gonna load test one. And here we go in the event. So I'm gonna erase the condition. And I generate the level locally. And then we go back to the editor. To the tab game, I mean, sorry. I think then we're gonna speak about the custom variables because I had a bit more time, like 30 minutes before I have to go. So I'm gonna explain you the basics of the custom variables. Okay, so oops, why did you do this? Why do you do this to me? Come on. Alright. What? What are you doing? Windows. Windows. Okay, so, new game. Alright, sorry. My PC just wants to do stuff in his own way. Yeah, thank you, go away, go away. Okay, so let's go.
This better be good.
Alright, so I raise the condition, and then I have...
Knock knock. Who's there?
Oh,
a
two
colony.
rangers.
A
I like
colony
that.
who? A colony who needs a mayor, that's who.
Great.
Okay, so I'm gonna... Oh yeah, I don't have any workers. Love it. Anyway,
You again. Yeah.
I want this
Okay,
stuff.
let's do this.
Why, I don't know, but I want this stuff anyway. Alright.
You call that a plan?
Oh yeah, I don't have food. Okay, so now we're gonna be notified. And here you can see what have been notified.
Yes, my bow is ready. Straight to the heart.
You won't touch me, bitch. Alright, so
Been a pain for this, right?
here is the thing about the condition of the events. And then we're gonna go back to the tab editor. Let's go again. Ah, Jesus, Windows. You're just bothering me. Alright, so we're gonna speak about the custom variables. The thing you have to know about the custom variables is that you can do everything you want with it. At least almost everything you want, I would say. You can change the stats of the units, for example. You can move the units with scripts. Some stuff like this. Okay, so we're gonna open again the test map. And here you can see I have already settled down a custom variable. So this custom variable says that the game has to count the giant that is called Gary. And if in this game I said that if his Gary is dead, it will trigger this event. Which means when we kill the giant that I shot a few minutes ago, this window will be displayed. But here I said also to the game, at day 10, if Gary is still alive, you will repeat this event every 12 hours until Gary is dead. This mark, exclamation mark, is the opposite of is dead, this one. Here it says when Gary is dead, and here it says when Gary is alive. And when Gary is alive, at day 10, every 12 hours, I will have zombie that will spawn at generator A. So, why do you have settled these custom variables? Is to say that the game has to count the zombie giant, which is called Gary, to trigger these events, the Gary's death and the Gary's wave. If you don't do that, I mean, it doesn't working, or it's working, but, well, I would suggest you to do that to be sure that the game is counting the zombie giant Gary. And also, if you want to do other stuff, you can do, for example, I want to give to the player a reward when the player has, let's say, 12 houses. So I will say count, let's say cottage houses. No. So count cottage house equal 10. It would give a reward. So we'll say in the event, when I create one, here I want to give 500 gold, condition, count, cottage, house, oops, sorry, equal 10. Sorry, just be back. Sorry, my cat has 4 kittens and another cat was coming, so just scared the other cat. So here is our condition to say that the game, once you reach 10 cottage houses, it will give you 500 gold. You can say also something else. Let's say well, what are we gonna do this time? Yeah, for example, is dead. So for example, if the zombie giant is dead, so we wrote it here, you can set it on the custom variables for different stuff, but I mean you can already write it in the events. Well, here I don't have an example in my head. I will show you in a different map. So, oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, just hold a sec. I need to move some stuff in the project file. Okay, so project, why don't we have... Okay, so we don't have it here. All right. Oh, I think we can take this one. So here I'm gonna show you some example of custom variables. So this is the first map of my custom campaign Les Bar Story. Doesn't matter. Okay. Alright. Why do you do this to me? Ah, come on. Recent version will work. No, don't want to save. Okay. Alright, so technical issues, sorry. I don't know why it's happening. Why is it bagging like this? I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the sec, where have been my project? Where have been my project? Come on. Come on, computer. I'm sorry for that. I don't know why it erase my project. What? To tell me you erase my project. Oh, alright. Alright. Okay, so. Oh god. I was scared about one of my projects that took me hours and hours to do. Alright, so. Okay, so. What do you want, computer? What do you want? Alright, is the tab deal? Alright. Okay, so. Okay, it's here. I don't know why it didn't move from the. I don't understand why he did this. Why did you do this to me? Alright. My bad, sorry. I don't know what happened. Okay, so normally it should work. So yeah, here is the last map I've created of Leba story. So this is the Corfbury ready point. I'm gonna show you some custom variables. So the custom variables can be the items and the variables you can have on the left. Sorry, the lever is quite heavy, so that's why it's taking so long. But let's say, for example, the custom variables can be everything you want to. For example, for the map one, I've created a custom variable which is related to the hope, which means that if the hope is too low, events will trigger. Oh man, I love creating maps. Anyway, gonna be ready in a few seconds, I think. So it's quite long because I have already some software that is opened, so that's why it's taking a bit of time to load the map. There are a lot of custom sound, custom variables in this little. Or maybe it's just bugged. I guess. Yeah, I think the tab editor just crashed. Okay. Okay, just close it. Yeah. Man, I love Windows. Finally. Okay, let's go back to the tab editor. Oh, by the way, you can launch the editor by pressing the left shift when tab is launching. It's faster than launching the game and then going to more, launching the tab editor. Okay, let's go back to our stuff. Recent file, Carberry. Oh man. Alright, so yeah, the tab editor just crashed last time. Alright. So here I have a custom variable I'll settle down. So for example, here I set easy, normal, and deadly. These are the difficulty of the game. So here, at the beginning of the game, you can choose your level of difficulty. So when I said easy, when you click on easy mode, it will execute the code easy plus 1, normal +1, or deadly +1, depending on which options you would choose. Alright? So for now, these custom variables are doing nothing. But in these events, we will have different options depending on the level. Let's say we're gonna choose, okay, this one. So here you can see that I've scripted a bunch of things, and here you can see that I have scripted waves. But the thing is, for example, isDead D1. It's a building that I call D1. When it's destroyed, because this is a zombie building, it will spawn zombies at B and W in my map. But the thing is, depending on which level you have selected, it will spawn different type of zombies. So here is the condition. It will spawn 5 workers at B and W generators if easy equal 1 and isDead the building, and if the Doom Village, the number of total Doom Village are greater than 0. And here is this almost the same condition, but it's with normal, which means if you took easy or deadly difficulty, this event won't trigger. And if you pick deadly, here this event will trigger. So if you took the hardest difficulty, it will spawn this number of workers. If you choose normal, it will trigger this one, and if you choose easy, it will trigger this one. And I've settled all the scripts for every building of infected that is destroyed. As you can see here, it will trigger this event with another building. So, guys, just hold a sec. I may have to help someone with his script. Just hold a sec. I'm gonna explain it to him. I'm gonna explain him to him. No, yeah, I will explain him some stuff because he asked some help for his scripts. Just hold a sec. Oh, okay, it's all good for now. Okay, so yeah, this is a new map creator who is trying to make works the conditions. So yeah, just one thing about the conditions, because you really have to write like I did to make it works. So here, when you set the conditions, for example, here, for example, I said live escape equal to. So if you want to make a condition works, you have to say like this. Or for example, if a custom variable has to be equal to something, you have to write your, for example, custom variable, a space, then the two equal, and then the number, because the number will change if you set the number of a custom variable. So I think this is all for this time. I will go deeper in the custom variables next time. Well, if you need some help or anything, you can just join my Discord and ask me anything you want. I will try to answer your questions the best way I can. So feel free to join the Discord and ask anything you want. Anyway, thank you for watching this, and see you later. Bye.